for partnerships with banks to enhance lending. So when you say, do we have? We do. We do, and they are targeted. When I was outside, I was talking to one of you outside there, who was asking this same question, and I said, we also have what we call impact finance. And so when you are in a space of renewable energy, for example, we have partnerships that support us to ensure that we are able to lend you money at very favorable rates, and they're all international counterparties. And so yes, we have targeted finance. We enter into all those partnerships to ensure that we are creating the right and appropriate structure to enhance consumer businesses and retailers.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. We'll come back to you with a couple more questions. So Gaurav, your company is a major player. Multipro is a major player in FMCG retail. You actually have of all the 1.2 million retail outlets, you guys probably take 2, 3, 4% of every shelf in every store. So we'd like to understand, and I've been having this conversation. Is there any other value you guys add to the value chain? From your supply side and demand side, besides giving credit, are there things you do?
It's very difficult for you to raise the loan. There is a huge gap in the banking system. How do you make these guys enable? So there are a lot of companies that we work with. One of them is like Omni Retail. What they do is they offer short-term funding finances to these retailers and small business owners. They collect order and supply from manufacturer to them within 24 hours. They offer them buy now, pay later at a very affordable rate which works on week basis. A trader will go back and calculate how much money or the margin they make it on that trade. And if it is good enough for them to get finance from me and people, they automatically go for it. It's a very successful way of financing. I see a big future in Nigeria, and I'm sure in this space, a lot of companies will step in. The FMCG sector in Nigeria is growing at a very big successive rate as a growth in population. And all these companies and banks will very soon start stepping in that space.
Thank you very much. So let's take the 2 questions. You want to add something here, please?
Yeah, let me add something. And you're correct when you speak about how it is a bit difficult for SMEs to
access funding.
But speaking about distributors, there is funding for distributors. They distribute a very robust and strong distributor finance scheme that Access Bank engages in, and we're probably the biggest and largest when it comes to with distributor finance. And so, for us to do it, it behoves on you actually to be the one recommending the distributors, to be the one saying to the bank, you know what, these are my distributors, because what you're going to achieve is continuous finance. We do the lending, they pay you, right? But then we take the risk. But then, because you're the one recommending them, it gives us the opportunity and the power to take those decisions to lend to them. And distributor finance is very large in Nigeria, so we're not the only bank doing it. There are lots of banks that deal in it. And that removes, what it does for banks is that it removes that fear and lack of confidence in the ability of the customer to repay. Because you know you're dealing with a large corporate, and that large corporate is saying, these are my distributors, I want you to back them. Anything goes wrong, I can find them. In some cases, depending on the corporate, you can ask for alternative means of security. But most of the time, it's not clear, but there's a structure agreed, and every corporate is different. It depends on what that corporate has agreed with the bank. So yes, distributor financing is very big, and it's something that a lot of SMEs have engaged in, and it has helped them scale in various businesses that they do.
Okay, thank you very much, Tizama. So we have two questions we'll take from here, and then we'll round up. I think, Gaurav, your company is cross-continent. Same with your bank. Access Bank also cross-continent. You're expanding rapidly. So someone is saying, if you have any useful advice to give to SME with the vision to go cross-continent, go beyond Nigeria, go outside of East Africa, North Africa, Central Africa. Any advice you have from one of your side and your company with that footprint?
Small medium enterprises. SME or SME. Small scale.
Prof, we really see SMEs thinking outside Nigeria. That's a fact of the matter. But it will be really, I'll be really happy to see that encouraging trend. One thing I want them to keep it in mind, every country comes with their own challenge. Every country comes with their own nuances. And you need to understand it before you're stepping in that territory. If you're getting into such space and you're thinking of building businesses across Africa in different countries, always go for a very, very long-term view. You will not see gain in the short-term view because it takes time and patience for you to understand that market, look at the trade space, look at the consumers, and look at the opportunity where you can build a huge businesses. So have a long-term view, look at what are the big challenges, look at the opportunities that lies in that space, and then you go after it.
Very good comment. So, Tizama, if you remember, the Dean made a comment about, we say you haven't captured Lagos, you want to go Africa. The Dean said, well, the Chinese haven't captured China, they're everywhere. Your bank is got a great footprint. What advice would you have for an SME trying to go beyond Nigeria and get it to what Africa? What Africa? They lean on Access Bank. Do you have a desk that would facilitate that move? Remember I said retail is a game of scale. If you're not scaling in Nigeria, inflation, Africa, all our challenges, the infrastructure debt. Do you have any advice for them? And then when after you're done with this question, I have a very interesting one for you on scaling as well. Go ahead with this.
Okay, so I will throw you back at the conversation I had when I was making my presentation. You don't wake up and say you want to expand, right? It has to align with your strategy. And I emphasized that during my conversation. So we don't wake up and expand. We see beyond today, which is what I was saying. But in terms of advice, no matter how small your business is, you need to look beyond where you are today and look at where you are going. Where you are going determines your expansion strategy. Where you are going determines where you go to. And so the decision has to align with the very heart of your business. Do you want to lean on a bank to tell you go here and there? That's not what a bank should be doing for you. We can only advise you when you have brought that opportunity up to say, you know what, these are the risks. But you, in your business, has to have a vision. I said to you that we want to be Africa's gateway to the world. And so every decision that we take is driven by that. What is your own vision? That is precisely what will drive your investment and expansion decisions.
That's good. All right, so the last question before I will give you 60 seconds each of you to round up. This one speaks about, I think back to you, Chizamai, you start and then Gaurav round up. It's about the fact that the person insists on growth capital. Is there something like growth capital? Remember, they said the bank that it typically will give money for inventory, working capital. We call it working capital. Isn't that what they call it? Working capital. And the guy is saying, I need to do a lot. I need to put a sunk cost before I can expand. And I do need time to start paying back. Does Access Bank have a tailored product to drive my expansion successfully. We're back to that, It's something we can think about, Does Access Bank have a tailored capital besides giving me money to buy more inventory and chuck into my warehouses? That I do need to have to hear if Access Bank has good capital for retail expansion.
So again, we're a bank. That's the business that we do. We are a bank, and that's why we exist. So we want to expand. We come with your plan. I mentioned that we enter into very strategic partnerships that we target different sectors. So we say SMEs, we have partnership with IFC and different TFIs. Green land, renewable energy, we have partnerships for that. So when we say, do we have targeted funding? We have partnerships that ensure that we're able to support our customers in the relevant sectors that they operate. Agriculture, we have those partnerships. And so, because we're a bank, we have to have products and services that serve diverse aspects of every business. But what is most important, which is why when the commissioner was talking about capacity building, that is most important for us in building your businesses. Because I need to educate you on the structure of your company. I need to educate you on the risk that you face of being highly leveraged. Because you can want to expand, and you at that point where it is now right for you to expand. That is what we as a bank will let you know. The kind of places you are expanding to, the nature of business and the competition that you face. Those are also very relevant questions. So I like to de-emphasize funding because it's giving if you have a good product. I like more to emphasize on the things that you need to do to be sure that you're ready for the kind of funding that you need. And so yes, we are ready to support you, but are you ready to take that next step? It all depends on the way you're structured, the strategy you have, and if it aligns with your future vision.
Thank you very much. So let's take the final comment, Gaurav, and then we'll come to Chizoba, and we'll round up the final comment on, the theme of the Congress this year is retail beyond borders. What's your final comment as practitioners here and the ones in diaspora, dialing from home or from the offices, contemplate how they can go beyond borders? And border could be Lagos, as a border between Lagos and Chicago. It could be Onitsha to Lagos or Kano to London. What's your final comment on that for practitioners to bear in mind that they make that move? We've spoken about culture, etc. But any other thing you want to say?
Thank you. I think for professionals of this field, there's a huge opportunity to make this field a more successful one. You need to look at the complete ecosystem, what can make this field more successful. It starts from the financing, moving to sourcing, going to your ambitions you have for the business like Madam just discussed. And taking a long-term view on the topic. Look at opportunities, look at the problems that exist, and then you think more ambitiously. There will be challenges. No business comes without problems. There are problems and there are opportunities also. Don't be afraid. Be bold. Take that threat. Be aggressive. We are capable to win this field. Just go for it.
Thank you very much. Chizoba, please.
So final advice. Beyond everything I've said, important to know when to say no. It's important to tell yourself the truth, to say, you know what, I've made a bad decision on this. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because all it does is makes you stronger. Because we learn with each transaction that goes bad. So if I say we're in 24 countries, did we get all of it right? Not all the time. And we had more that we had to put out of.
There? Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you all right. So the final question will come to you. We have a lot. Yeah, the final question. Welcome to this. You know, we're speaking about Retail Beyond Borders. Wambu is also a director of the Africa Retail Academy here. So we're speaking about Retail Beyond Borders. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes, I am.
okay, good. So we have a couple of players here who are looking at East Africa, 11, 12, 13, 14 markets. I'm sure you do have players over there looking this way. What is the advice? You know, first of all, why are we not expanding between here and East Africa a lot more? And what is your advice to organizations looking to move from here, from Lagos, from Accra, moving into Kenya or Rwanda, or moving into Uganda? What is your advice as to the steps they have to take to make this move successful?
I think you've really spoken with when you said cross-border revenue out of country could be in our case moving from one country to the next, and I think it would be similar to Nigeria. That would be the beginning of how we need to break down the barrier. To the point of Nigeria, I think one of the people did say now that 95% traditional trade. It's very difficult to cross a border with dealing traditional trade, and if I look back to West Africa and especially to Kenya, we say we are about 70% traditional trade with a 30% formal trade. That formal trade has tried to cross the border into a neighboring country, but at the end of the day, they end up closing. It's either because of structure, because of the strategy not well thought out, it could be because of the political dynamic. I mean, we've had a lot of South Africans come to Kenya, and they rarely survive. We've had ShopRite shop, leave after 2 years, we've had shopping, we've had a lot of their food chains also set up and still end up closing. So there's a lot of consideration around strategy, how much groundwork have you done in terms of how much market you will appeal to, how much you will people embrace the brand. And are you able to consider culture to ensure that when you roll out your brand, it is absorbed? I'll give you a good example. South Africans tend to come to the inside of Africa with the thought that they're very similar to South Africa. And when I say similar, I mean a lot of the countries around South Africa tend to absorb 99% of African products. In Kenya, we have a very well-developed manufacturing sector, so we have plenty of Kenyan brands on the shelf, and Kenyans are very loyal to their brand. So if you set up an outlet and do not consider the culture of the country, you don't consider that we loyal to our brand, at the end of the day, you will end up suffer. And then I think to the lady from, sorry ma'am, I forget your name, I'm unable to pronounce it, from the bank, the courage to build on the bottom line per branch leads to people then staying open when places they should not be open. For the longest time in Eastern Africa, the sign of success for retail was how many branches you have. Whether we're making money or not, that seems to be not important. So that again leads to the challenges of sustaining business outside your home. To some people, I think it's a matter of strategy, it's a matter of understanding the market you're going into. It's absolutely critical that you're able to formalize your process before you can even venture out of your country. And I think that has been the largest challenge with most of the brands born and bred in Africa that formalization is still a growing thing. I'm sure similar to Kenya and Nigeria, a lot of our traditional retailers start from a family-based business. And even as we say, we are formalizing, and as long as the family remains inside and are able to make decisions more on the breakfast table, the dinner table, than in the boardroom, that challenge of crossing the borders will remain. I think there's a need to embrace with equity. I think again, this is from ancestors to talk about it, of how do you grow if you're not opening your doors to different kind of thinking. If you're limited to family thinking, chances of your growth beyond where you are remain a challenge. So I think there's a lot to think about the strategy, how do we professionalize the farm, how do we do a thinking with government, and I'm very happy that we have the commission that wants to do to put in structures that facilitate retail to grow. Chidiabe had me say that after agriculture in Africa, retail should be the next largest thing. But I don't think government really gave the attention it required, and they did. Was not have such a struggle with establishing retail curriculum that would then help people grow, that would lead to that growth we are looking for. Those are my two questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bobby. I think we had some interesting discussions. So around that quickly, it's clear the opportunity is there, whether within your country, across Africa, the opportunity is there. It's also very clear that we have seen organizations that have done that, they have gone beyond whether Nigeria or gone beyond one country to the other. What they all say is that even with the opportunity, 1.4 billion people, you said, she's on right, you said 1.4 billion people, 250 million and middle class consumers. But the challenges remain infrastructure, capital, obviously. But the advice is that I think it comes from all three. Capability has to be there. You've got to have the right strategy. And Chizoma kept mentioning that the strategy has to be right. You've got to understand the culture, the nuances. And you have to be clear the vision you have for those countries. I think what we just mentioned that again. A lot of South African companies have moved into Kenya and they bumped out. Some moved into Nigeria. They didn't quite make it. But that said, many have moved from Nigeria into Ghana, or Nigeria into Kenya, or Kenya into Nigeria, or South Africa into Nigeria, and made success. But we need to think about those things that make for success. There are a few lines that make for success, and one of the lines is collaboration, clarity of what you want to do in those countries. If you're very clear on that, I think you have a chance of making success. But one of the things I want to leave you, we have to start dreaming. Our retail sector is actually expanding and exploding very well. We need to start dreaming beyond our borders. That's very important. That's the theme of this Congress. We have to start dreaming beyond our border. We have the capability, and I think we can build on that. So thank you very much, Chizoma, for interesting presentation and conversation. Gaurav, we truly appreciate your presence here. Wambi, we appreciate you. We hope next year you'll be here with us again live. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for listening to us.
Thank you. Let's invite Professor Chenalzo for the gift presentation. Thank you. Gift presentation, photograph, and then we'll move to the next one. So thanks to our sponsors, one of our sponsors, Celebrations, for providing this gift pack for our panelists. Thank you for the insights you shared. In the middle, please, for pictures. Professor Luis, please join them for the group photograph. Thank you. Can we have the sponsors ad on the screen for Celebrations? So group photographs, please.
I've been with Celebrations since I was a teenager, and I'm 50. So the kind of gifts I get from Celebration, they're always epic. My friends look forward to the gifts I give them.
One of the things we've always cherished is to give ourselves special things. And my wife loves to give. She likes giving. So I'm sure it's a process.
Thank you. A round of applause as they go back to their seats. Thank you.
Most of it is covered and celebration.
Celebration for me is more than just a store. It's a place that creates memories, and the gifts they have, their gifts.
Thank you. We're moving swiftly behind time to the next session, which is a panel session that will be discussing digital transformation for retail expansion. I would like to invite on stage the moderator for this panel, Yemi Kerry. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Please clap until she takes the stage. Keep clapping, please make it warm. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to swiftly invite the panelists for this session. Titilayo Akinwande, she is the head retail for Microsoft. Round of applause for her, please. I would also like to invite the CEO of Omni Retail, Mr. Adewale Adisa. We have online with us Ismail Bek. I can't pronounce his surname. Ismail is the CEO of Shari from Morocco. We have with us also the CEO of Terragon, Mr. Elo Ume. I believe this is all of us. We are short of time, so we'll try as much as possible to get into the nitty-gritty of today's discussions. So we'll be discussing this afternoon about digital transformation for the retail expansion. The retail industry is having a major shift in the landscape. And one of the things that we want to look at today is how technology, digital transformation specifically, is aiding to do that. If we think really about it, the retailers have a very exciting but also challenging task nowadays because they have to merge between the digital and the physical worlds in order to satisfy and run successful businesses, even in spite of evolving consumer characteristics. And so today we'll be looking at how the digital transformation, data and technology is going to help in the expansion. And so I will start with the female on the panel. And Titila, you are the retail head for Microsoft, and therefore you deal with channels, you deal with a lot of businesses, SMEs. I just want you to contextualize and unpack digital transformation in itself and how best the businesses can leverage on it and what they need to do to, transform successfully.
Thank you. So I would say digital transformation is the use of digital technology across all the various aspects of the business. So for people, processes, products, services, operations, essentially. And the intent of that is really to be able to maximize value. And value is relative to different organizations. You can look at value from the point of view of profitability, of revenue, customer satisfaction, customer acquisition, all or some of these elements. Right? So it's important to understand what is key to you as an organization. And what we really say is that technology should be an enabler for you to use to get to that end. So at Microsoft, our mission is empowering every organization and every individual to achieve goal. And if I may summarize in a nutshell, that really is the intent of digital transformation. Simply saying you have the right combination of some key elements, tools, people, processes, and operations with technology as an enabler across all, you can do more. Right? And in terms of how we can bring this home, how we can actually successfully implement digital transformation initiatives, especially in Africa, where we are not as mature in code, there are some key strategies that we need to focus on. And I'll talk about a few. The first is around leveraging mobile technology. The mobile device penetration in Africa is huge. And this in itself is an opportunity because it means that you can reach everyone that has a mobile device if you are able to leverage mobile successfully. And this would mean, having mobile-friendly solutions, mobile apps, mobile payment platforms, even SMS, USSD-based solutions to reach those demographics that do not have internet access. The second thing I'll talk about is social media, and this is closely tied to leveraging mobile technology. But we need to look at it from the point of view of these social media platforms are already available. And over and above that, they also have millions, if not billions, of users. These users are the target market, and we need to know how to reach them through social media. Right now with social media, you can increase the brand visibility, you can sell, you can get payments, you can advertise your business and your products and services, right? So there needs to be a strategy in place for how you can leverage social media to grow your business, regardless of the current size of your business. And the third thing I'll talk about is investing in local talent. This is very key because you need a skilled workforce that understands the local context, understands the local market. And above that as well, because digital transformation is an ongoing process, things change in digital landscape very often, very quickly. There needs to be a culture of training, of ongoing training and development so that your staff are consistently upskilled to be able to take advantage and operate effectively in the market. So the fourth thing I'll talk about would be, I think I have 2 more points, so I'll try to round it very quickly. The fourth thing would be around adapting to the local markets. And this is very relevant. We've heard this a lot in the course of the day. It's relevant as it relates to expansion. You need to understand your current markets and the markets that you want to expand into. You need to understand in terms of what are the cultural, social, economic idiosyncrasies, so to speak, in those markets, and how best can you tap into that, leverage that to build a business. It's very key that whatever solutions that we're coming up with, whatever initiatives that we want to implement, they are relevant and they are accessible in the markets that we're operating. So we need to look at